Hello, and welcome to the Sprinkler page for the new California landscape. The lawn is in the backyard, and the sprinklers are on the lawn in the backyard. These icons represent the sprinklers. So we have 12-foot sprinklers in the corners of the big part, which is 12 feet wide, and we have 8-foot sprinklers in the narrow part, which is only 8 feet wide. And you'll notice that there's a note here that says there are two sprinklers right next to each other. That is because one of these sprinklers is spraying in a 90-degree angle. It's spraying a corner for the 12-foot section. So this is a sprinkler with a 12-foot nozzle. And then the other sprinkler is spraying in this direction. It's the 8-foot sprinkler. It's spraying for the 8-foot wide section. So that's why there are two sprinklers right next to each other there. So if we go down to the valve, you'll notice that this is valve number 4, and you'll see the blue line going from the valve to the backyard to the sprinkler to the lawn. You'll notice that it stops in the middle and it tees off. So the blue line is the irrigation pipe, the Schedule 80 3/4 inch Schedule 80 pipe. You'll notice that it comes up, it stops and it tees, and then it goes off in this direction and feeds these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprinklers, and then it ends. And then it comes in this other direction and feeds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprinklers, and then it ends. You'll notice that there is no blue pipe right in this area. So basically what we have is the pipe comes up and we have two lines, one line and two lines, and this helps with the pressure for the sprinkler system. What we have designated for the sprinklers for the lawn are nozzles. The high efficiency nozzles, they are Toro precision nozzles for all of these sprinklers in the lawn. And I'll show you those a little bit later in this screencast. The heads are Rainbird heads, and they are 1800s, and they have a check valve and pressure regulation in the head. Let's go ahead and look at some of those parts for the sprinkler system. The first thing we'll look at is the nozzles for the sprinklers for the neat and petite plan. The nozzles are Toro precision nozzles, as I said earlier, and we have the 8H, which is 8 half circle 180. This is the 8Q, and this is the 1/4 inch circle. And we have a 12Q, 12 1/4 inch circle, and we have a 12H or 12 half inch circle. So these are the nozzles that you will be putting into the sprinkler heads. I wanted to show you the nozzles that are in the other plans. We use MP rotator nozzles in the Right as Rain Recreation Destination and Wholesome Habitat. So these are the MP rotator nozzles. We have here, I believe, an MP 2000 here and MP 1000 examples. Next, this is the sprinkler head that is designated for the neat and petite plan, irrigation plan. So it is a Rainbird head or body. We call them sprinkler heads and sprinkler bodies for some reason. And the Rainbird head is a Rainbird 1800, and you'll see that it says SAM PRS here on the top. That means SAM means seal-o-matic, which is the check valve. The check valve keeps the water from running out of the pipes when the system turns off. So it's a great thing for water conservation because it keeps the water in the pipes. And then the PRS means that this sprinkler is actually regulating the pressure for the sprinkler system, and this regulates it to 30 psi, which is what the sprinklers want. That's the amount of pressure that they want. Next up, I'll show you the sprinkler head or body for the other irrigation plans, and the MP rotators are used in those plans, and we use the MP rotators and the Hunter MP rotators in Hunter heads, and these Hunter heads have both a check valve and they are pressure regulated. It's kind of hard to read right here. It says PRS 40, and that is the pressure that this head operates at. And the MP rotators really want 40 psi pressure. Next up, we show an MP rotator running. That's what the spray looks like. Next up, this is another option for you. We have designated in the plans, the sprinklers heads that we've designated are Hunter and Rainbird heads, but you certainly have the option of using Toro heads as well. This Toro head has PRX, which means it keeps it, if a nozzle breaks or is knocked off, it keeps it from gushing or sprout a geyser. And then the COM is I believe the COM is the pressure regulation on it. Next we have a swing joint and a PVC T for the swing joint. The sprinkler actually goes onto a swing joint. That way if somebody, let's go back to one of these here, and you see the swing joint in the PVC T there. Also here, this is a little sharper. If this sprinkler is in the ground and somebody runs over it with a car or steps on it or kicks it or whatever can happen when sprinklers are in the ground, then this joint actually gives, and so it's very unlikely that it will break. The nipples and risers that we have used in the past under sprinklers, they tend to break pretty easily when they're kicked or stomped on or run over by a car or bicycle. So this is a really great thing to keep it nice and flexible so that it doesn't break. All right, we'll come back down here. This demonstrates how to flush the sprinklers. You want to take off the nozzle. Once the sprinklers are in the ground, you want to take off the nozzle and find some way to hold up the neck of the sprinkler. Because if you flush the sprinkler with this all the way retracted, then it really leaves the system open for mud and debris to go right into the sprinkler system when it shuts off. So you definitely want to hold up this extension in any way you can. This is a nice little tool that's made by Rainbird that is, I use this for holding up the necks for flushing sprinklers. Next we have the PVC and fittings for under the ground. And you're probably wondering why I have a pressure regulator. Actually, we've got two. A pressure regulator in the sprinkler system, in the sprinkler tutorial. And that is because pressure regulation is very, very important with sprinklers. So we can either use a brass plumber's pressure regulator upstream of the valves so that it regulates the pressure for all of the valves at once, or you can use a plastic pressure regulator downstream of the valves, which means after each valve you can have a pressure regulator like this. And the reason I put these in here is even though I have specified sprinklers that have pressure regulation built into them, if you do not replace your sprinklers and you only replace your nozzles so that you have high efficiency nozzles in your existing sprinkler system, then you can use one of these devices to bring down the pressure. Well, that wraps up the sprinkler irrigation tutorial. Thank you very much.